Just one more day. One more day with your arms. But the world is so cold. Don't care nothing about your soul that you share with your arms. There's a stranger, and he's standing at your door. Might be your best friend, might be your brother, you may never know. I'm going back to my own life. I'm back to talk a while with my own wife. 'Cause the world is so cold. Don't care nothing about your soul. You share with your own wife. I want you to stay one more day with your own wife. Don't rush away. Rush away from your own wife. This whole world is so cold. Don't care nothing for your soul. You share with your own wife.
That's Mr. Van Morrison, of course.
The dulcet tones of.
Yes, and an Irish heartbeat. And don't talk with your mouth full, please. Yes, I'll tell you, this is. You'd like to be in the studio this morning, listener, I'm sure, because
You call me mid-breakfast.
Yes, we've got the coffee going and the tea and sausage rolls, but they're not sausage rolls.
No, they're Marks and Spencer's ones.
They're
very good. With bacon, aren't they? And cheese.
Yeah, bacon and cheese. They're very sophisticated sausage rolls.
Well,
what was that?
So you go past the window. Might have to shut it down.
Far better than the British rail sandwich.
Well, that's right. I mean, Mr. Mallin, you are a connoisseur of breakfast, aren't you, really?
Well, I do enjoy my breakfast.
Do you know, I think we're going to have that window shut.
I think we will have to have that window shut. Do you want to do that in a minute?
I won't be able to reach that.
All right, well, I'll reach it. No.
Anyway, I'm sure the listeners are fascinated by our window issues.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is it.
I think more fascinating is I'm bitterly disappointed this morning, Mike.
I bet you are.
Why?
No tutu.
No shorts.
Well, look, I told you.
I mean, you've come in dressed
For summer.
well, sort of normally.
Look, there is times when a man has to, unfortunately, regrettably, but it is necessary, to put the tutu in the washing machine.
I understand. Yeah.
Well, I hope you do, because if you
have
don't,
to do it
then-
yourself, aren't you?
Well,
We all have small little accidents, Mike, from time to time.
yes. Yeah, but you can't have accidents in tutus, can you? Because you've got nowhere to go. Anyway,
Clearly, you managed to.
Let's not go down that road. I would like to talk this morning about Catalonia, because I think the troubles in Spain could be rather serious, couldn't they?
I think so. I think they're rising as well. But it's not every Catalonian that wants independence, is it?
Well, do you think we're going to go back to the sort of, January 1939 when they kicked off the Civil War? We had lots of people from England go over there.
Lots of people from all across the world went, didn't they? But the Germans were siding with the rebels, I believe. And I can never get my head around this. I've got a book on this.
Well,
I must read.
It's a civil war, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
this is the worst kind of war.
It's the worst kind of war. I agree with you. A lot of English people went to fight the Nazis, basically. Extreme, militant, right-wing extremists.
Yeah, what's his name went, didn't he? The writer, 1984. George Orwell. Yeah, he went to fight there, didn't he? Hemingway was there. Hemingway, I think, drove an ambulance there.
I find it a great shame because I can't understand, but I can accept to a certain extent some of these battles that are going on in the Middle East with the different warring factions because of religion and things like that. But I think when you get to what I would call a very civilised country like Spain, why they're doing it, I just don't know.
What I found is to be totally unacceptable was the behaviour of the Spanish police when people went to vote.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
It beggars belief that anybody in the modern age would actually drag somebody by the hair out of a voting booth. We're all told that actually if you want to win a battle, you win your battle in the ballot box.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody's going to drag you away from the ballot box, then really and truly that is a state that's out of control.
The Guardia Civil have always been known for their brutality, haven't they?
Yeah, and I think that the Spanish government really have got a lot to answer for at this point in time. I can understand why
it's the Spanish government, because there's the Catalonians, there's the Catalonian parliament or government or whatever you want to call them. They're causing the problem because they said we want to go.
Look, if the Scottish people decided that they wanted to hold a referendum on their own backs,
well, they've done it.
I don't believe that British police would drive up from London, go in and rip people by the hair out of the voting booth. If that happened, I'd be ashamed of our government, but I don't think it would.
Well, we are. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, of course, it's obviously quite correct.
I've not seen the latest on this. But they've announced they're going to they've announced their independence, presumably, have they now?
No,
they still haven't.
Well, he has, but he's withheld it for a fortnight.
I didn't see the news yesterday.
But of course, withholding it is to me they're playing little childish games, really. No, I'm not blaming your party, and the Spanish government are not going to talk to them in any shape or form because they just claim it's all illegal what they're doing and unconstitutional, which it probably is. But
the trouble is, if Catalonia do get independence, then Segovia or whatever the other states are, they will probably want to follow suit.
Well, the Basque people have been.
Well, they've been. Yeah.
I mean, but they, in all fairness to them, they gave up violence. They didn't think that violence was the way forward, and they are using the power of the ballot box to be able to get their own way. And that's the way it should be done. If people want to change things, then they should stand for election, get elected, have a political party, and change things. It's democracy. That's how it should be.
It's how it worked in Czechoslovakia, didn't it? When they split with Slovakia and the Czech Republic, it was the bloodless coup, wasn't it?
Well, to some extent, the same thing happened in Poland, really.
Yeah.
The whole breakup of the USSR was fairly bloodless. I mean, there's been more bloodletting in recent times than there was back then.
Well, that's right. Incidentally, listener, good morning and welcome to CRMK on a Saturday morning, the Grumpy Old Men, and all the comments that you hear are personal comments and nothing to do with the radio station CRMK.co.uk.
Paul Alexander this week, I think.
Yeah, I think we will blame Paul Alexander.
All comments, particularly derogatory comments that could be held in contempt in any way, shape or form are down to Paul Alexander.
Right. Who's the chairman of the company.
We've got that sorted. You can also take part in the show if you'd like to this morning. Then just send us a text on 07790 385 385. That's 07790 385 385. Or indeed, you can send me an email to mike@crmk.co.uk. Mike@crmk.co.uk.
Or you could go to the Grumpy Old Men and Women Facebook page, which I'm not getting at the moment on my iPad because I think it's upgrading.
Oh, well, there you go. See, that's one of those things, isn't it? You poor old so-and-so. Say good morning to quite a few people this morning who are all listening in. Thank you very much for joining us. It makes our life worthwhile, and I must say that
I've got it back.
I must say I met Dave's wife in the co-op, funnily enough, and which was most strange, really, because normally she was in Spain at this time of the year, but they're going back there at the end of the month, apparently. So there we go. Because I didn't think that Dave was listening, but I gather he listens in whenever he can. So good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave. Who's Dave?
And Dave Clifton from.
Oh, right.
You should know Dave Clifton. You were a neighbour of his for some time, Newport Pagnell. When you were in Newport Pagnell with your officers and the little garage on the corner?
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know his name.
That was Mr.
Okay.
You should have done, because he was a very, very good mechanic, actually.
I've never met him, I don't know.
Oh, really nice guy, But, I don't have to say that anymore.
Morning to Lynn as well, because Lynn, it's your birthday on Monday, my darling, isn't it? Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope you got our little package we sent you of photographs.
Oh.
So,
That was nice of you. That was from your reunion.
It was indeed.
The Blufffield reunion.
Evans, actually.
Evans above.
Evans, yeah.
Right, I can't really contain myself any longer from this next talking point, which is this gentleman in America called Weinstein. Weinstein, yes, or I would prefer to call him Weinstein, actually, but never mind. I think this has opened a huge can of worms now, because listening to the radio last night, they were talking and they were interviewing people from the judicial profession and also the academic profession, and it seems this actually happens the whole world through. When a man is in a powerful position, he then takes advantage over females. This is something new, gentlemen.
Where did that come from?
I really don't know where this
It doesn't exist in the animal kingdom, does it? Oh no, actually it does. Oh yeah. Actually, it's called. Is it human nature?
Well, it's not human nature with animals.
I think it's gone a bit beyond that.
So is it animal nature?
Well, a bit of both.
I mean, I actually believe it's appalling and completely wrong, and I have no sympathy for the guy whatsoever. Nevertheless, you can understand that the temptation when you've got that power, because it is ingrained in human beings to act in that way.
I think we can probably all agree, without fear of argument, that none of us agree with the situation as it stands.
No.
But I think one of these the points is that there's two sides to every coin, and there's I think in a lot of cases there's a lot of young ladies who have maybe even engineered themselves into a situation where the man with the power, who can progress their career in whatever shape or form it may be, they wish to take advantage of it, and they do take advantage of it, but then it is the male who then gets the flannel thrown at him.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite the case this time. I think it is. There might be one or two, but I think there's an awful lot more, isn't there? And I think he's just been using his bullying tactics and his size and whatever.
If you're bullying somebody for sexual favour as a result of your power and position, then you really are clearly and utterly and unashamedly in the wrong. It is inappropriate behaviour. It shouldn't be done.
We've agreed on
when
that.
When a young lady uses her sexuality to gain favour, do we regard that as wrong?
Well,
is it 6 of one sometimes, and maybe occasionally half a dozen of the other?
It doesn't seem to be, does it? Do you think?
Well, I don't know. In this case, I'd like to hear from the.
Well, we heard from Rosemary last week. Actually, thank you.
Well, I'd like to hear from Rosemary on this one. Because I mean, she has a very strong feminist perspective.
She did, and she put it over very well last week.
Very well indeed.
If any of our listeners as well would like to contribute, then please let us have your views and your thoughts on it. But I think this is, as I said, it's opening a big can of worms. Because if you go back only a few years ago, when there was that awful gentleman who I don't even want to say his name, but the one who worked, and the cigar, just a detestable character, because he was. But that seemed to be the start of the opening up of it. I mean, every week when you look in the national newspapers, there's somebody who's been accused of rape, or somebody's been accused of fiddling around with little girls and boys and all this sort of thing, and it's just all coming to the fore now. Why? As if it's suddenly been invented, but it's been going on ever since Adam and Eve.